A very good morning to all the students of class 11th political science, and students, welcome back to the online classes here. As you know very well, we were doing the 8th chapter of your NCERT book, that is local government, and we are moving on with the syllabus according to the new revised syllabus given by the CBSE. So according to the syllabus, we are doing this chapter local government, and in this we are doing only the selected topics. Although in the first video I had given you some introduction part, I revised you the topic local government, which you have already studied in the previous classes also. So we had discussed that why we need local government, what is the need and importance of the local government, what is the significance of the local government, and as in the federalism we had discussed regarding all the three tiers of the government at the central level, at the state level, as well as at the local level. So now today we shall be studying mostly about the amendment, that is 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, which is in regards to the local government, that is Panchayati Raj, and the municipal corporations. So I'm starting the topic here, local government in independent India. So we are studying about local government, and we are just taking a short introduction before we start about study about the amendments. So local government got a flip, okay, after the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment. So if we talk about local government, they were not having any recognition at the center level or the state level under constitution. It was just formally thought out that there should be a local government, there should be some provisions, there should be some subject which should be given to the powers authority given to the local government, but it was not mentioned, any provisions were not mentioned in the constitution. So it was only after the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment act that our local governments got recognition. But even before that, some efforts in the direction of, but if you talk about the before 73rd and 74th amendment in 1992, there were some efforts put towards the development of local government bodies had already taken place. First in the line was the community development program. So of course there were some initiatives taken to give recognition and power and authority to the local communities through the local government, but it was not recognized by the constitution. It was not mandatory for all the states to have the local government in place. So some initiatives were in line, like community development program in 1952. So for the very first time in 1952, this was a community development program which sought to promote this community's work, and objectives were to promote people's participation in the local development in a range of activities. In this background, a three-tier Panchayati Raj. So of course after that, this Panchayati Raj, which now we will study under constitution as according to 73rd and 74th amendments, but this Panchayati Raj already existed as the local government, and this structure and its functioning was already there, but it did not had any recognition, any power or any authority by the constitution. So this system, Panchayati Raj of local government, was recommended for the rural areas. Mainly this Panchayati Raj is only for the rural areas, as I had already explained you in the last video. So previously some states, like, you need to remember this, there can be a 1 mark question, states like Gujarat and Maharashtra adopted the system. So these two states were the first one to adopt the Panchayati Raj system, although not according to the provision of constitution, but formally it was adopted by these two states as elected local bodies around 1960s. So in 1960s, around 1960s, Gujarat and Maharashtra had accepted this system of Panchayati Raj for the local governance. But in many states, those local bodies did not have enough powers and functions. But in other states, these local bodies were not having enough powers and functions to look after the local development. They were very much dependent on the state and central government. So all the people of the local government was directly dependent on the state or the central government for all the developmental activities or the financial aids for the development of local areas relating to basic necessities like water, roads, electricity, etc. Many states did not think it necessary to establish elected local bodies. Many states thought that establishing a local body, it is not very mandatory, it is not very important. Only it can be worked with central and state government. In many instances, local bodies were dissolved and local government were handed over to government officials. So in the case we are seeing that after 1950s or 1960s, Of course, there was always a concern for the growth and development of local areas through the local government, but they were not given any authority, power, or recognition by any government as through constitution. Okay, but it is here that after 1987, where this concept of local government giving the recognition in the constitution or making some amendments in the constitution, this idea came in the 1987 through a thorough review of the functioning of local government. There was a review of local government institutions was initiated in 1989. PK Thungon committee, this was the committee who recommended constitutional recognition for the local government. This committee, PK Thongu, in 1989, they recommended that there should be a recognition given to the local bodies for the growth and development of people are in the village regions or municipalities. A constitutional amendment to provide the periodic elections of there should be a proper constitutional amendment considering all the important provisions and authorities given should be given to the local governments in relation to appropriate functioning of election, periodic elections of local government, enlistment of appropriate functions, a proper functions and power should be given to them, a proper funds should be given, and all these important things were recommended by the committee PK Thong in 1989. So these were some of the recommendations. Still there was no, we can say, amendments in the constitution regarding the local governments, but this was the work or the research work done by this committee PK Thongu in 1989 for the growth and development of local bodies. So finally, after this committee, so after the recommendation of this committee, there were 73rd and 74th amendments were put into action. So we'll see in 1989 as the report was submitted and there were some recommendations made for the local government. So in only 1989, the central government introduced two constitutional introduced. You need to remember the word. This amendment bill, we can say, was introduced. This amendment aims to strengthen, and what was the aim of this amendment which were being introduced, that is 73rd and 74th amendment. These two amendments were introduced in relation to our local government, and the main aim was in strengthening the local government and ensuring an element of uniformity in the structure and functioning across the country. That is to give the power and authority to the local government, as the local government can understand the problems and desires and issues of the local people, and it is appropriate to have a local government for the growth and development of the people, and also to bring the uniformity, okay, and equality and the same functioning and the structure of the local government throughout the country, across the country. That is it. So these amendments were introduced. So let's see when they came into force. So you can see the last paragraph here. Later in 1992, so this was introduced. As you have to remember the days, it was recommended by the committee. Its name was PK Thungong committee. Then in 1989 only it was introduced that there should be a constitutional amendment in the parliament, and basic aim was to strengthening the local government and ensuring an element of uniformity in the structure of functioning across the country. So after that, later in 1992, you have to remember, the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments were passed. Now the word is passed. Finally it was passed. It means it was amended and the new rules, laws were made for the local government by the parliament. So there are two. So we will study about the 73rd amendment first of all, which is in relation to the Panchayati Raj system, and then we will study about the 74th constitutional amendment, which is in relation to the municipalities. Okay, I will tell you the difference, and I have already told you the difference clearly in the first video as well. So let's see. 73rd amendment is about the rural local government. You need to remember, 73rd amendment was in relation to rural local government, all the governments which are in the rural areas, the village regions, which are also known as Panchayati Raj institution. Okay, so when we are talking about the 73rd amendment, it means we are talking about the amendments which were made for the local governments in the rural areas, that is Panchayati Raj institution. And the next was, and the 74th amendment made the provision relating to urban local government. When we will talk about the urban local government, it means nagarpalika, or we can say municipalities. So 73rd and 74 amendments, I hope you have understood that we are considering here rural local government and urban local government. Okay, so the 73rd and 74 amendments came into force in 1993. It was, it was recommended in 1989. It was introduced in the parliament, as I told you, in 1989 itself. In 1992 it was passed by the parliament, and finally it was implemented or came into force in 1993. You need to remember all these dates, and these dates are really very important for you from the point of view of your exams. We have noticed earlier that local government is a state subject. So now let's see what do we understand by, as you already know this. We have noticed earlier that local government is a state subject. States are free to make. So previous to this, since there were no amendments made before that, this local government, this all the subjects of the local government were directly under the subjects of the state. It was up to the state that which subjects it was giving to the local government. So states are free to make their own laws. So states were previously free to make their own laws in relation to the local government. But after the amendment of 73rd and 74th amendment, but once the constitution was amended, the state had to change their laws. Now state had to change their law about the local bodies, as now recognition and importance, authority, power was given to the local bodies by the constitution itself. So it was authorized in order to bring these into conformity and the amended constitution. So various subjects which were under state was now transferred to the local governments. Okay, so now we shall see, and particularly about 73rd amendment. And as I have already told you, 73rd amendment is in relation to the rural local governments. Okay, or we can say we will talk about the Panchayati Raj and the structure of Panchayati Raj or the local government. I had already explained you in the last video of this chapter. It is the first video of this chapter, so you need to watch that video if you have any confusion. So let us now examine the changes brought about by the 73rd amendment in Panchayati Raj institution. So as I told you, this system was already into functioning, but it was not functioning according to the constitution, as there were no provisions in the constitution for giving authority and power to Panchayati Raj or the local government. It was up to the states whether they wanted to adopt it or not. But after the amendment, it was made compulsory and mandatory for all the states to have the Panchayati Raj institution in place, and with various subjects shifting from state list to this local government. As we know about Panchayati Raj system, I will just read it quickly because I have explained you completely in the first video what do we mean by Panchayati Raj. So 3 tiers structure. If we talk about Panchayati Raj, it's like a stair, 1 2 3. There are 1 2 3 levels. All states have a uniform 3-tier Panchayati Raj. So after the amendment, all the states have the uniform same 3-tier Panchayati Raj structure, same structure for all the states. So at the base, at the first level, at the base is the Gram Panchayat. As I told you, the meaning of Gram Panchayat. The Gram Panchayat covers a village or a group of villages. Okay, this is the base level and the first level we can say. After that, the second level is the intermediary, the middle level. It is also called Mandal or the block level we can say, or the Taluk. Block or Taluk. These bodies are called Mandals or Taluk Panchayats. The intermediary level body needs to be constituted in smaller states. At the apex, so at the top is Jila Panchayat, covering the entire rural area of the district. So at the bottom we have Gram Panchayat, then we at the center we have block or Taluk, and at the highest level we have Jila Panchayat. And if we include all these, it is called Panchayati Raj institution. Okay, and there was various recommendation and changes in powers and authorities given to this by 73rd amendment act of the constitution. Okay, and this is the rural government, local government. Moving forward, the amendment also made a provision for the mandatory creation of the Gram Sabha. So it was very mandatory and important to have a Gram Sabha, because without Gram Sabha we cannot have this Gram Panchayat, because Gram Panchayat is elected by the people who are above 18 years in a particular village, and all those people are called are the members of Gram Sabha. They elect Gram Panchayats. Okay, so it was mandatory for all the states to have creation of Sabha. Gram Sabha would comprise all the adult members registered as voters. So they will be registered as voters as they are 18 years or plus. Its role and functions are decided by state legislature. Okay. So we are talking about 73rd Amendment. If we talk about elections, if we talk about Panchayati Raj, I have told you the structure of Panchayati Raj. There are three-tier system. At the base level, it is Gram Panchayat. At the middle level, it is block or taluk, and at the apex level, it is Jila Parishad or Jila Panchayat, we can say. Okay. Then talking of the elections, all the three levels of Panchayati Raj institutions are elected directly by the people. It is, if you talk about any tier of this system, PRI system, all are elected by the people directly. The term of each Panchayati body 5 years. Once a Panchayati body is selected, it is elected for 5 years. We are using a word elected because people vote for them. Okay. If the state government dissolves the Panchayati before the end of the 5-year term, if any case state government dissolves the Panchayati government or the local government before 5 years, because reasons can be many, in that new fresh elections are held for the rest of the years. Suppose for 2 years this government was functioning, but after 2 years state government dissolved this panchayat. So remaining year, for that is for 3 years, the other government will be other panchayat will be elected only for 3 years to complete the tenure of the previous panchayat. This is what I explained you, that if a panchayat is dissolved by the state government, fresh elections must be held within 6 months. Okay, of such dissolution. This is an important provision that ensures the existence of elected local bodies. Before the 73rd Amendment, in many states there used to be indirect elections to the district bodies, and there was no provision of immediate elections after dissolution. So before this amendment, so all these rules now we are studying is according to the 73rd amendments, which were mandatory and uniform to all the states. There were no different rules and regulations for maintaining the local bodies at the different states. It was same and uniform for every state, but previous to that different state functioned differently in relation to the local governments. As we have seen here, some were having the elections, some were having the indirect elections, some were dissolving the election, then they were not having the re-elections. So there were the problems at the local level. Since the recognition was given by the constitution, by the 73rd amendment, to the local bodies at the rural region, these were some of the important things which were uniform and mandatory to all the states to maintain the local government. And these were some functions and powers assigned to the local government. So if we talk about the new amendments acts in relation to reservations, under 73rd amendment, constitutional amendment, what were the changes brought to reservations? 1/3 of the position, or we can say seats, 1/3 of the seats in all panchayat institution. If I am saying about all panchayat institutions, means I am talking about gram panchayat, I am talking about block or taluks, or I am talking about Jila Parishad or Jila Panchayat. So at every level of Panchayati Raj, there are reserved seats for women, or what is the ratio? 1/3 of the seats are reserved for the women at every stage. Reservation for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes are also provided for at 3 levels. At all the 3 levels, there are also reservations for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in proportion to their population. If the state find it necessary, they can also provide for reservation for the other backward classes. If any other these are states, as we know, there is a lot of diversity of caste, color, religion, culture. In any state, if there are a lot of population which is called as backward classes, OBCs, these OBCs are also given the reservation or the representation in the local government. It is important to note that these reservations apply not merely to ordinary members in panchayat, but also to the positions of chairpersons. Yes, and these reservations are not only for the ordinary seats. These reservations are also to like a member who is a OBC, who is a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe, can also elect an election or can contest the election for the chairperson or the adhyaksh. So reservations are also given for the topmost positions at the local government at all the 3 levels. Further, reservations of one third of the seats for women is also merely general category seats, but also within the seats reserved for the scheduled caste. Along with, for the general people, general women, there are also reservation of one third for women, maybe of any caste, maybe a general, OBC, SC, ST. Okay, this means that a seat may be reserved simultaneously for the woman candidate and one belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So it means we are trying to say here is proper representation is given to the women's also here, as well as people of other backward classes, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. So these were some of the important elements added to the with the 73rd amendment to empower the people at the local level as well. Okay. So this was in relation to the reservation. Now let us study about the transfer of subjects. As we know, there are various lists in which there are subscribed subjects at the central level: union list, we can say state list, concurrent list, residuary list. So these are few of the lists which assigns the subjects to the central government, to the state government, and to the local government. So let's see what were the subjects which were transferred from state list to the local list. 29 subjects, you have to remember, 29 subjects have been transferred from state list to local government list, which were earlier in the state list of subject are identified and listed in the 11th schedule of the, if we talk about these 29 subjects, they are mentioned in the 11th schedule of the constitution. Okay, these subjects are to be transferred now according to the new amendment of 73rd constitutional amendment. Now these 29 subjects which were under a state list now are being transferred to the Panchayati Raj, and we know this Panchayati Raj means all three levels at the rural local government. These subjects were mostly linked to, and these subjects were mostly of importance of rural areas like development and welfare functions at the local level. The actual transfer of these functions depend upon the state legislation. Each state decide how many of these 29 subjects would be transferred to the local bodies, but it is also given some authority to the state, that state has to look first of all that is it possible for all the local government to function properly on all the 29 subjects. So it is also the authority of the state to transfer the functions to the local body accordingly. So you can see here there are some subjects listed in the 11th schedule. This is the 11th schedule of the constitution. Okay, and according to this 11th schedule of the constitution, there are 29 subjects which were previously in the list or the subject of a state, but now they, out of them many are under local government, like related to agriculture. All the related powers, authorities related to agriculture are being shifted to the Panchayati Raj. Minor irrigation, water management, watershed development, small scale industries including food processing industries, rural housing, drinking water, roads, culverts, rural electrification, poverty alleviation program run by the government, education policies including primary, secondary schools, technical training, vocational education, adult and non-formal education, libraries, culture. So these are around 29 subjects which used to be a part of state subjects, now were being transferred to the local government or the Panchayati Raj by the new 73rd amendment of the constitution. So with this, today I will come to the end of this chapter, and further to discuss on the same topic, 73rd amendment itself, I shall take up the second topic. Otherwise this video will be too long for you to study. Okay, I hope you have understood and you need to understand this topic properly. This is very important for you. Okay, thank you.